Time. Oh shit. You better see Lubu Shabe too. You better see Lubu Shabe too. You better see Lubu Shabe too. You better see Lubu Shabe too.
That's a good song. Shout out to all my Hebrists. Woohoo! If you know, you know. Very nice. We as marketers in this room, we know that South Africans love short-form content. So today, I'm coming to you via live TikTok. There it is. This is a live TikTok, and this is where I get to share 10 insights in just 10 minutes. So come with me as I share Kantar's 2025 Mzansi Barometer, TikTok style. The top concerns in South Africa in 2025. These are severe. Crime and violence, the rising unemployment rate, gender-based violence, corruption in government, and the rising cost of living. Corruption in government is something that people speak about so much. Transparency International runs a corruption perception index where they rate countries based on their level of corruption from 0, least corrupt, to country 180, the most corrupt. South Sudan, if you're interested. South Africa is in position 82, which puts us, wait for it, in the top 50% of the least corrupt governments in the world. Suitably shocked. The top sources of household income in South Africa. We've got salaries, wages, government grants, money from our own business, and gambling and online betting. Let's address the elephant in the room. Did any of you guys fly in? Did anybody come through the airports this morning? There's a number of them. Did we see online bettors show up in those airports? Right? Do you know that last year, online gambling were the third biggest media spenders in the country, behind hypers and supers and insurance? It's pretty severe. The other interesting thing, though, is I was kind of thinking about how we live our lives, generally speaking. Aren't we always using some kind of tech-based platform to unlock some kind of reward? It's an interesting concept, this whole concept of gamification. So I'm not saying that I'm obviously not taking away from the societal challenges that online and any form of gambling presents in our country, but I am saying there's this trend around gamification in general. We also know that one of the key sources of income into the household is running our own businesses. And in the past, we marketers, we love to call that the side hustle, right? It's not a side hustle, it's real life. And there are multiple sources of income that come into the household on a daily or weekly basis. Money from our own businesses, whether registered or unregistered, whether formal or informal businesses, are a very legitimate source of income. So it's not a side hustle, it's the hustle. Woohoo! Me too. I'm also one of those. We are actually spending less money on alcohol. I don't know what that woohoo was in response to. We started the Mzansi Barometer during the time of COVID. And we asked South Africans at the time what they were doing to manage their household budgets. And they said, well, one of the things they said is that they were spending less money on alcohol. And in actual fact, you guys will remember that alcohol wasn't even on sale during that time, right? When we looked at the data, however, we realized that that wasn't true. So they were actually continuing to spend on alcohol. Fast forward to 2024 and 2025, and we see that the consumption of alcohol is actually in decline. Why is that? Well, there's obviously a number of reasons, but one of the most significant is that consumer households are really challenged budget-wise. So we see inflation, CPI inflation, sitting at about 3%, and inflation on a typical basket of key FMCG groceries is sitting somewhere between 5 and 8%, depending on the month, and that has come down slightly into the latest quarter. But the fact is that people are spending the same amount of money and getting less. And one of the coping mechanisms that South Africans are using is to actually spend less on alcohol. We are also actively using rewards programs. Do you remember what I was talking about with the gamification? I feel like this is another example of that. We ran the Mzansi Barometer this year in 5 different African markets. And we found South Africa to be the only market where consumers said that they were prioritizing rewards programs as a means to actually stretch their household budgets. So it's actually changing consumer behavior in our country. And the implications for marketers are obviously quite obvious. Obviously quite obvious, is that we need to be backing the types of rewards programs that are driving the behaviors we're looking to entrench. We're also trying out cheaper brands. Tasting the room right now, how are you guys all feeling as the big brands in our country? 55% of South Africans are trying out cheaper brands. 59% of South Africans are sticking with brands that they know and love, even if they are more expensive. These are the same people. So we've got people deprioritizing certain categories and certain brands so that they can make budget available for brands that they want to invest behind. And what that means is, for us as marketers, is that our job remains the same as it always has. How are we building meaningful difference so that we're enabling consumers to justify their purchase by pointing to the reasons that they want that product in their lives and that they are prioritizing having that product in their lives? We, as connected South Africans, are shopping online. This is insight number 8. 2024 was the real game changer. So in 2024, we asked consumers, how many of you are shopping online? And 82% of our country, of our connected country, said that they were shopping online. Fast forward to this year, where just under 100% say that they shop online. Not only that, but there has been a marked increase in the percentage of people up into the mid-90s now of lower income homes and township-based homes who say that they are shopping online. So online is a very legitimate source of shopping purchase. And for your interest, it's almost equally split between the people who say that they predominantly shop offline, the people who say that they predominantly shop online, and the people who dual shop across the two. That's connected South Africans. Insight number 9, we are looking to be entertained. I mean, what a spectacle was that choir earlier. That was entertainment, right? That 8, where's the choir? Yes, that 8, it was amazing. Significant increase in the net usage of TikTok, Spotify, and YouTube this year. I'm sorry, let me just let that sink in. Those platforms, and in a country where we already know that we are one of the biggest consumers of socials in the world, and we're still significantly increasing, that's wild, right? And it's kind of why I come to you today as a live TikTok instead of as just a presenter with a nice PowerPoint presentation. People are looking to be entertained in these spaces. At Kantar, we run another report called Media Reactions, where we speak to media planners and we say, where are you planning on spending your budget in the coming year? And then we speak to South Africans and we say, where do you like hearing from brands? South Africans say they prefer to hear from brands in their offline spaces, yet they spend so much time online. Why? Because a lot of the branded ads that they see can be pretty irritating and maybe boring. And I think that the implication for marketers is that how are we replacing the word advertising with the word entertainment? And I have to just give shout out to some of the ads that we've seen played here today, because those are entertainment. And that's the type of stuff that's going to put people saying, hey, I'm happy to hear from this brand in my online spaces, rather than only in my offline spaces. That Gogo ad with the flying fish, I mean, that sent me. That was amazing. Yeah, woohoo! Look at me, not me, a podcaster doing my favorite thing, telling you that podcasting is exploding. But it really is. So 87% of connected South Africans say that they listen to podcasts, and a quarter of them listen to podcasts daily. The implication for brands is so significant. It gives us such an amazing platform to connect with highly invested niche audiences and show them that we are experts in the areas that influence their lives. So forgive me for sharing 11 insights in 10 minutes, but I'm going to drop my last bar here. I shared with you some pretty sobering realities that South Africans are faced with, and which are very top of mind. And not to throw shade, but this room has some of the biggest budgets in our country. In another study that Kantar runs called the Brand Inclusion Index, South Africans said that, or should I say 46% of South Africans said that they saw brands taking a stand in support of social issues. Just 46%. And in a country with the types of issues that we have, not saying anything is very loud. I really feel that the brands in this room have so much potential to be a part of the national solution. And it's actually what we've seen so much of here today. So, how are we showing up as being a part of the national solution? Like, follow, and subscribe for more tips.